Well, the Chiefs traded up in round 1 with the Buffalo Bills of all teams, snagging themselves one of the fastest receivers possible. So we got to talk about it. But first, how about those? That's right. The Chiefs traded up to get wide receiver Xavier Worthy, but more on that in just a second. I want to look at how the board kind of fell. Not a complete overview of round 1 by any means, but starting at pick 23 is when Brian Thomas Jr. went off the board. He was drafted by the Jags, a great fit for their offense, but that was a guy that I was potentially interested in the Chiefs trading up to go get. A true vertical threat, elite ball tracking skills, and Brett Veach said in his presser tonight, they started making calls around pick 21, 22. That was the Dolphins getting Chop Robinson. The Eagles then got cornerback Quinion Mitchell. Then, of course, next was the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Brian Thomas Jr. So that tells me they were at least interested in potentially trading up for Brian Thomas Jr. I'll never be able to confirm that, but pick 21, 22 is when Veach said they started making calls. But when you pick at the end of all these rounds, the picks don't hold as much value as other teams, like pick 32, 64, etc., etc. They did try. The asking price was a little bit too high, and then a couple teams were not interested at all. And after the Jacksonville pick, you had the Lions, Packers, Bucks, and Cardinals, all of them taking offensive linemen or defensive lineman, cornerback, not a wide receiver. Not another wide receiver went off the board until pick 28. It was supposed to be the Buffalo Bills, and I said, there is no way, this is pre-draft, I said, there's no way that the Bills are going to let the Chiefs jump them for a wide receiver. They desperately need one. They traded away Stephon Diggs to the Texans, but also Gabe Davis signed with the Jags of all people in free agency. So they needed a wide receiver pretty badly. I thought they're going to get A.D. Mitchell, but when the Chiefs suddenly traded up, exchanging picks with the Bills, it was basically a 3rd and a 4th round pick swap. Veach said in his presser it was moving back 38 picks. And honestly, if you look at this tweet here, one of the best, most affordable trade ups in the 1st round in quite a while. And when this happened, I was absolutely shocked. I couldn't believe that the Bills would trade back with the Kansas City Chiefs. But the reason why I believe they did this is because it's pretty clear they are in a refresh or a bit of a rebuild, at least trying to get young talent, cheap young talent. And that's how you do it. You do it through the draft. Remember, in free agency, not going to talk about the Bills long here, but they had to let go of a lot of people to get under the cap. And then I don't know why exactly they traded Stephon Diggs, because they also had to eat a lot of dead money there, but they had to cut a lot of people. They needed a receiver. So I thought there's no way Chiefs and Bills are trading. Well, it happened. The last time the Chiefs and Bills traded, the Chiefs got Patrick LaVon Mahomes II. This time it was announced they are getting not A.D. Mitchell, but Xavier Worthy out of Texas. And honestly, I was a little surprised that they got him for a trade up, but Brett Veach explained you never know what teams are going to do. And Andy Reid said they have a good eye on the board, talking about Brett Veach and his team. They have a good eye on their board, but other potential boards of the other teams, and they know the other team's needs. And when you look at the 49ers, who were slated to pick 31st overall, 1 pick before the Chiefs, they have 3 receivers slated to no longer potentially be with the team over the next couple of years. That's Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, and then Debo only has a couple of years left. So maybe Brett Veach and company feared that the 49ers of all people would possibly want to grab Xavier Worthy. So they opted to trade up 4 picks rather, and get him. And most of you know by now, Xavier Worthy broke the combine 40-time record. 4.21 is what he ran at the 2024 NFL Combine, which is freaking fast. And that translates in the game too. He is a burner, a deep field guy. And this is a guy that the Chiefs are going to use to stretch the field, kind of like they did with MVS, but this man is definitely much faster. Now, the knock on him is his size. He's 5'11", 165 pounds, but both Andy Reid and Veach did not seem bothered by his size. Veach said Worthy's going to get with the dietitians, and they'll probably have him around 175 or so pounds, so he'll put another 10 pounds on. And this is a guy that you could comp to somebody like Deshaun Jackson, who Andy Reid actually drafted, had a lot of success with. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is a smaller-bodied guy. The Chiefs are very good at using these smaller bodied, very quick wide receivers, and you're going to be able to have Worthy come in, return punts. Both Andy Reid and Veach talked about this quite a bit. Andy Reid said he will end up doing both work with the offense and work as a returner. They marked him early, and that's why they opted to move up and get him. They also love that he's passionate about the sport of football and loves to play. He plays a tough game, even playing through a broken hand at some point. And Veach, in particular, was impressed with Worthy's ability to contribute immediately at the college level. If you look at his stats, 2021, that was his rookie year at Texas. 62 receptions, 981 yards, 12 touchdowns. So from high school to a college like Texas, immediately able to contribute. The next year, 60 catches, 760 yards, 9 touchdowns. 2023, that was last year, 75 catches, 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And that's with Adonai Mitchell on the roster as well, eating up catches. And then when you look at his body of work, this is impressive to me. He did not miss a single game. So he's durable, tough, fights through it, and he's only 20 years old as well. He turns 21, I believe, April 27th. So in roughly a day or so, I'm recording this video at midnight. He still has time to grow and expand in all facets of the game. That's his route tree on offense. Then he could do things behind the line of scrimmage with the Chiefs, jet sweeps, orbit motion, screens, quick passes, but then obviously be used as MVS, but not MVS because we moved on from MVS, but the field stretcher, the guy that can stretch the field and keep defenses honest. Veach specifically said to help clear up the middle of the field. And if you listen to Seth Kaiser, he said once you dig into the film on Worthy, his route running is better than it would make you to believe.
Xavier Worthy, incredible speed, runs terrific routes actually. He weaponizes his speed really well. He's not just a speed merchant, kind of similar to Hollywood Brown. He runs really nice intermediate routes, sets up defenders well down the field, tracks the ball well while it's in the air. You got to be able to do that to be a deep threat.
Another interesting thing about Worthy, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but he led the FBS in punt return yards. He had 371 yards and a return for a score. A little bit more than that, I think, throughout his total career, but he averaged 13.8 yards per punt return. So Brett Veach and Andy Reid both said he's going to be the return guy and he's going to contribute on offense. Veach said he's going to basically be an immediate contributor. So I don't know what you guys think about this pick. I was okay with it. I basically said, if he's there at 32, sure, take him, but don't really trade up for him. They didn't trade up much for him. The trade-off was honestly pretty fair. The Chiefs still have plenty of picks to use, and that future third-round pick from the L'Jarius Sneed trade to the Titans, they could potentially use as well tomorrow if they want to trade up. I understand tackles a need, but the tackles went, and Veach and company opted to go and get their guy, a true burner of a wide receiver with elite speed. And this is important because Hollywood Brown is only on a 1-year deal, but this is exciting because Hollywood Brown is also fast as hell, great route runner. You've got him out there running around. You've got Xavier Worthy in the behind the line of scrimmage, rather, doing his thing, keeping defenses eyes on him at all times. You've got to deal with a lot of stuff in the Chiefs offense this season, which makes it very, very exciting. But yes, it makes sense to go and get a receiver. When you look at the Chiefs wide receiver room, only Sky Moore and Rashee Rice are under contract for longer than this season. Justin Watson, last year of his deal. Hollywood Brown, again, signed only a 1-year deal. Tony, last year of his deal, they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. Mecole Hardman, free agent. MVS, gone, free agent. So you had to start investing early, in my opinion, either round 1 or round 2. When you look at this draft class, Worthy is a great fit. He's going to come in and contribute, going to return punts, going to keep defenses honest. Honestly, do not mind this signing at all. Would I have liked to see A.D. Mitchell? I mean, maybe so, but there's something going on there. Other teams passed on Mitchell because when you look at the draft board for the rest of the night, you then had the Cowboys get Tyler Guyton. You had the Ravens get Nate Wiggins. Then you had the 49ers, who might have been the ones wanting Xavier Worthy. They got Ricky Pearsall, a very electric guy, but surprising he went before A.D. Mitchell. And then the Panthers traded again. Well, the Bills rather traded back again. The Panthers traded up. The Bills now have pick 33. The Panthers got Xavier Legette at pick 32. So A.D. Mitchell fell. He might actually still go to the Buffalo Bills. That's who I thought they would get at pick 28, A.D. Mitchell. But It's interesting to note that several teams have passed on Mitchell for one reason or another. Maybe it's his inconsistency or other things listed. It doesn't matter because now Xavier Worthy is a Chief. You guys got to let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Are you excited about this? Are you concerned about his weight and his size, even though Andy Reid and Veach basically said, nah, we're not worried about it. There's guys that are smaller that have contributed. They kind of comped him a little bit to Deshaun Jackson, who has able to have a very successful career himself. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Excited, happy, concerned, all of the above. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I hope the Bills regret trading back with the Chiefs for a very long time. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?